Greetings. How's everyone?
What's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up? So, definitely, my name is Samuel,
And I'm Tiara.
and we are the Richardsons.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, definitely, before we get into our topic of conversation, what we're going to be talking about today is regards to a TV show that me and my wife like watching for different reasons. So before we get into that, we're going to be discussing, one of the things that we like watching this show, particularly because it's pretty good for my wife's memory. And if all do not know, we have our new subscribers and our new people who is listening to and watching our video right now. I would like for Tierra just to explain the reason why we like watching this show and how it's beneficial for her.
Yeah, guys. So, for those that don't know, I am a bilateral cerebellum stroke survivor. And if you guys know anything about suffering from a stroke, it is a traumatic brain injury. And when you have a brain injury, it basically affects every aspect of your brain. Although it may happen on a certain part of your brain or a certain area of your brain is one, right? And so it affects a lot of different parts. And part of that is my short term memory. That's something that I've been working on tirelessly with. I remember therapist saying focus on one thing, and that one thing for me was just continuously working on my speech because I dealt with aphasia and still deal with it when I get tired, and and having that slurness and slowness of talking and stuff like that. But as far as my memory goes, I like to watch different shows or movies, and this is what I was told to do along my recovery journey and just recap things for comprehension reasons. It's very hard for me to go through a full page and reading. So I have to start with excerpts. So I'm like a major magazine collector at this point. Um, but as far as my husband and I, and him being my caregiver, and us over this journey and stuff like that, we like to look at different shows that we enjoy, especially ones that we can relate to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And the show that we're talking about today is talking about marriages, not only just marriages, but minority married Black powerful men and women that are building something together, but going through various issues or experiences or what have you. So, yeah.
And it's awesome. We're gonna get right into it, into our topic of conversations. So basically, so
Okay, so Sari and Apple decided
can
to
you turn that off, please? No copyright. Just close it. Close it. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's just kind of get into the show of Love and Marriage of Huntsville. Now, one thing to discuss, as the show is beginning on its new season, they're talking about different conflicts that they have with their friendships and even with family, and also, being careful how you mix friendships with business. And those are some main things. So we're going to first start off with Marsau.
I think we should tell them first. We're starting with season 3.
Season 3.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. And the title of that episode is Sisters-in-Brawl.
Okay.
So if you haven't watched Love and Marriage of Huntsville, it's definitely is something to see. We like the show. We definitely get some things from it. You learn some things from it as well. So first segment we're going to talk about is the situation when Marsau meets up with his brother on the land on Scott Manor. How they're, you know, saying Marsau is with his uncle and his uncle Mike. I do believe that's his name. Yep, Mike is the architecture of Scott Manor, and they're breaking down the trees and everything to start the foundation to be putting in the wire and everything for Scott Manor. It's a whole the subdivision that they're going to be building. But Marsau tells Maurice that when Maurice pulls up on the land, they have a little conversation that, you know, Maurice's wife, Kimmie, won't allow him to live on the land because of the relationship issues with Kimmie and LaTisha.
Right.
Now, LaTisha is Marsau's wife. So I would like for us to comment on that, and how do you feel, Tiara, about with Kimmie is not, you know, feeling up to or want to, you know, commit to living on Scott Manor's property?
Well, for me personally, I think it's about Kimmie having her peace, having her privacy, and basically not having any problems. You know, when you are all about your peace, you don't have time for unnecessary conflict or putting yourself in uncomfortable situations unnecessarily. I don't have to build here. I don't have to live here. I'm not really for that. We're not really on good terms. And it seems like this is a pattern. It's something that's not going to change. I kind of know you right now. So, you know, I'm glad that, you know, the Scots got their land.
Yeah.
But to her, it ain't that deep. And to me, I understand. Because you can't live next door to all your family members. Sometimes you want to be able to leave and them not have access to you.
True.
I'm just saying.
True.
I'm just saying. What y'all think? Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, and I think that is something. I think far as with that being said, I feel Kimmie doesn't, number one, she's very careful to not commit to something that she doesn't feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I think that's something to be said about just with anything in life. If you know that you're in conflict with someone, or you know y'all are not on good terms, you might want to think twice about committing and working with them, or, you know, doing business with them or anything of that nature because of the relationship status. And, you know, I think with Kimmie, like you said, piggybacking what you're saying, I think she doesn't want, it's a different story when you have to be with someone or near in someone proximity where you lay your head at.
Exactly. Like, imagine you being near or living near a family member that you just don't have time for. Like, it's certain people I really don't want to have that much access to me. I like living a ways away from family members because, you know, they just can't pop up on you.
Right.
They can't put unwanted expectations on you. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. So I think that Kimmie she's so, for one, she's a great communicator, but she's just mature in a way that she's not willing to compromise her peace for other people. So often we will, you know, succumb to, oh, they family, or oh, I love them, or we'll work it out, or we should do this because of our association or the relationship. But the biggest thing that I see in this situation is understanding boundaries. And when you know your own boundaries and you set those boundaries and you set the narrative, people can't like override it. So that's how I feel about that.
I agree 110%. So definitely, as you can see, we have our brand, Cuddle with Purpose. Cuddle with Purpose is all about, it's not just signifying with just marriages, but it's signifying with everything in life, far as dealing with, for example, relationships, whether you boyfriend or girlfriend, fiance, whether it is being in with fatherhood, motherhood, family, Cuddle with Purpose is our brand and our motto, especially if you go on to our social media pages with Cuddle with Purpose, where you can catch us on Instagram, Cuddle with. We also have our Facebook business page. We're definitely about family and about unity. So that's something that, where we derive from the word Cuddle with Purpose, so the words. Now, with that being said, let's go to the next topic of hand. What do you think, baby, about Marsau when he makes a comment to his brother, Maurice, when he says that his wife, LaTisha, and Martell, which is Melanie's husband or ex-husband now, are similar in how they respond to things?
Okay, first of all, that's a bunch of BS, okay? How you gonna put your wife and this guy in the same sentence? I just feel like that's an insult to her on so many levels. I see how he could kind of come up with that in his head. Some things I just don't think you should say it out loud.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Some things I feel like it's okay that is your thought.
Yeah.
But that don't mean that you need to say it, you know? And I think that I just don't like how he communicates to her and about her sometimes. And that's just something I just gonna have to keep up in prayer. But anyway, that's just that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think it's just very disrespectful. I think especially when you make a comment saying that your wife is the same way to someone. If anybody have been watching the show and you understand what's been going on with Martell and with Melanie, and to say that your wife responds the same way, I don't know what type of eyes or ears that he has. But I do not see that, and I just think he's wrong for that. So sometimes he to me, from observing, he acts like a jackass to his wife. Right. But with that being said, we're going to explain that a little bit in the conversation. So now let's go to the next segment. Is when Kimmie, they had a segment with Kimmie and Destiny. And remember when Kimmie asked Destiny about her relationship with her husband, LB, and Kimmie was like, well, everybody is talking, around, in our circles and saying, hey, what's the deal with Destiny and LB? Are they good or not good? Are they good or not good? So she said, finally Kimmie just asked, are y'all good? And, and Destiny that we're as good as we can be.
What else you want her to say? Let me tell you something. I like Destiny. I like Destiny because despite the fact that Destiny is on a show and she, I feel that probably everybody else feels like she signed up to release and unveil some information that is quite private and sensitive. I like her level of privacy. I like her level of control over her own life and how she controls the narrative. How she, like she said, people think they know Mike T, but they don't. And so it's just like how some people are so upset about when people have comments about their relationships and they go so much in depth and like, dang, why would they say blase? But it's because you put XYZ about your relationship out there. You decided that you wanted to have a conversation with people who should have no rights in your life.
Yeah.
And so I feel like she controls who has access. And when you control who has access, then you don't have to worry about anything getting out other than what they gonna make up, what stories they gonna create, because people gonna come up with a narrative.
Oh man,
just cause that's what people do. I mean,
people talk and say a lie in a heartbeat and don't have a clue about what's going on.
I mean, not a clue.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think that was Destiny's way, in just a polite way of saying, I'm not telling you none of my business. No. It's none of nobody's business, but between me and my ex-husband now. But that's between us, and what happened between us stays between us. Now, she may have a change of heart over time, but she should have the right to have the power to, when she wants to communicate and what happened to their marriage, when she feels ready to.
Yeah, because what happens is when you discuss a fallout, whether it's in a marriage or just a relationship, or a friendship, when somebody says something to somebody else and then they decide that they want to make up with that person, then the other person's gonna be like, they're gonna have all their little 2 cents. They don't want to say XYZ, or they want to give their opinion.
Right.
Some people have valid opinions and some people don't. Like, it's kind of like it's some people you can talk to, and then there's some people that you can't. And then I think that she also has a level of discernment. And I say that because, there's some people you just can't trust. You just watch how they roll with other people. You look at how much they say about this person's situation and take notes. And that's what she does. You can literally tell that she's one of those people that just take notes and pick up your character, pick up how you move. Oh, so you talk about this person's situation in depth. You dangle this type of information in their face. And shoot, I know what you're going to say about me. So I'm good.
Now, staying with that philosophy of what you just said, how people take notes. There later on, the very next segment in that show, remember when Destiny finally tells Melanie, when she met her at Melody's house, that, you know what, girl, I'm divorced. And Melody is shocked.
And that was a lot.
Yeah, and Destiny says,
that was a lot for a friend.
Yeah, it was a lot. I guess I would say it wasn't really surprising for Melanie, because Melanie said that she knew that they was having problems in their marriage, but I believe she didn't possibly think that it was going to lead to divorce. But you never know what's going behind someone's, closed doors.
But I guess that's true. But at the same time, like she said, she knew there was issues or whatever. But the issues that they kind of showed a little clip of wasn't issues that you would think a person would get a divorce over. Mind you, she was with somebody who was a habitual cheater, and she gave him ample time to get his stuff together, and she wasn't willing to leave, right? She was giving him the time to get his stuff together, knowing that he had cheated. So when everybody has a different threshold.
Some people have, if you cheat one time, that's it.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm saying. Some people have a different threshold for different things. And so you have some people who are willing to stick it in and stay. And then you got some people like, listen, I can't roll over and look at you and knowing that you done shared me with somebody else, because meaning you are me. Like I'm married to you. So you mean to tell me you gave all of what belongs to me to somebody else?
Right.
Somebody would get their ass whooped, like literally and figuratively, like
which would never happen.
Like whatever happens is basically going to happen.
Yes.
And people's tolerance level is just on another level.
Yeah. And I would say, and I love how me and you, we have our differences, and I think that's okay in how we see certain things. But for the most part, we agree, I believe, on the main ingredients, which is very important.
Right.
And I think when you're talking about with Destiny and Melanie, Melanie is kind of like in a shock right now, right? We're just painting a picture for you in the episode. So Melanie is sitting here like, and she takes a drink for champagne. Like,
hey, but this the one that get me. This the one. She moved that hair. She moved that hair. And she said.
So Melanie started digging a little bit. Saying like, so when did this happen? Like, and then Destiny tell about a month ago, and then she said, well, we are friends. Friends supposed to be there for one another, when things like this happen. And I'm just a little hurt and bothered that you didn't think enough about friendship, that you didn't communicate to me about it. So Destiny explained, that, hey, you was going through your situation with your ex-husband now, and big divorce, and then you was on tour, and everything like that. And she said, I just didn't want to bother you when you had a lot of stuff going on. And she said, and also Destiny said something. Destiny said that I need to go down this road on my own. I need to find myself. I need to deal with this myself. And I think that's something that's very important, is that sometimes there are certain things that happen in people's life that they just don't want to share it with anybody else. They want to allow it to sit in it. Like what's this Porter?
Billy Porter.
Billy Porter said, like, I believe Destiny wanted to just sit in it, process what happened, and then just kind of like be a better her, or be a better person in moving forward, and how to just rebound and rejuvenate her life.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that every season of your life don't require an audience. I think that there's times where you are going to have to navigate roads on your own.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to see different places to take a detour, or to take a stop to tell this person, or take the stop to tell that person, because now you're going to be feeding yourself with different energy, different spirits, different things, different experiences. And you already, and especially in that situation, she already knows she was dealing with somebody who is tainted, for the lack of word, somebody who's already felt a level of rawness and hurt. And it's so like, you know what, like, I don't really think, I need to talk to you, right? I have professional help for that. No disrespect to my friend. I love you. I appreciate who you are for who you are in my friendship. But in this, I needed to deal with this on my own. And I just pray that, or hope that you respect me enough to know that this is what I needed to do. And I made this decision that was best for me and mine.
Yeah, I think that's enough said. My wife just dropped the mic on that. So moving on to the next segment. Remember during the show where Kimmie meets Marsau at the office.
Right.
And she had, his food, because she's a caterer too. So not only yeah, she is a hustler.
What are you talking about?
Ain't she's a real estate agent too?
Yeah,
she's a real estate agent. She's a nurse and a caterer. So Kimmie, shout out to Kimmie. Kimmie is getting her grind on and doing her thing.
Multiple streams
of income.
That's what you just got to do in this lifetime. It's
just absolutely. That's something that we actually live our life upon. It's very important when you're actually building your life, especially, building a family, and you want to have multiple streams of income coming in, because it's very important. Yeah. But going back to it, and just to kind of, it was just a brief segment, but, Marsau talked to Kimmie and asked Kimmie, would she help plan a surprise birthday party for his wife, LaTisha. And Kimmie was kind of caught off guard about it, and she really didn't want to do it because of the dynamics of the relationship between her and Marsau's wife, which is LaTisha. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, what I would like to talk about, Marsau plans the surprise birthday party.
No, graduation party.
Right. Sorry about that. Birthday graduation.
Yes.
A surprise graduation party by doing it on the day that LaTisha's mother won't be there, which is Wanda. Now, let me tell y'all something. Now, Wanda is she's up in everybody's business.
Yeah.
And Wanda is off the chain. Yes, she reminds me of somebody I know. But Wanda is definitely off the chain and want to be in everybody's business but her own. But with that being said, how do you feel about it, TT, with Marsau wanted to plan the graduation without Wanda being there, which is LaTisha's mama.
That was by far disrespectful.
Uh-huh.
I don't really care how much you might dislike this woman. At the end of the day, this is the person that has brought your wife into this world. This is the person that has babysat your children numerous times. This is the person who does not really cause that much issue. I mean, she might. Okay, I take that back. I take that back. She might cause a little drama, a little bit.
She causes a lot of drama. She causes more drama than his wife.
Okay, what I'm saying is he should at least had the mama there. Okay, at least, because Wanda brings the life to the party, and maybe a couple of lives to the party. But I like Miss Wanda. And Ms. Wanda speaks the truth through all the foolery or the funniness and the whatever. When you get through the Nick, Ms. Wanda see things that other people don't want to acknowledge. Okay.
Yeah, and like you said, that is LaTisha's mother. I know it was definitely wrong on his part to do that, but hey, on me on the other hand, I can understand why. So let's move right along with the
next.
So let's talk about Martell. But just to let you know, Kimmie ended up doing or helping out with the graduation. So shout out to Kimmie, man. Kimmie, you know, does her thing. She was able to move forward, even though in spite of her feelings about LaTisha at that time, she still was a part of the graduation. Now, with that being said, where the next segment came in, where Martell meets up with Destiny at Destiny's shop.
Right.
So she acts, well, she didn't really ask. She was talking to him, communicating with Martell about the social media posts that he made on social media.
Yeah,
and
we should have brought that one up.
Yeah, but we just have to make sure we're careful with copyright claims and stuff like that because it's involved with the show. So if you watch the episode 1, there's this post that they're going to put up that Martell on his page. He has 4 children with Melody.
4. Yep.
4, and he has 1 outside child with another woman he had while he was married with Melody. So he puts up a post of Melody and his daughter where he's holding their daughter at school. And the problem that Destiny has, and she approached Martell with it, is that I had a problem when you said at the end of the post, quote, on the social media post said, Daddy saw each one off the same way. So 4 down and 1 to go. So her issue was that Martell didn't have to say that about the extra child when he has Melody and their child, and she thought it was a little tacky for her taste. But I would like to get your opinion on that, T. Do you think that she was right?
I will say that it's a twofold situation, right? Right. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, like he said, you know, I got more than 4 kids. I got 5 kids now. I'm divorced. I'm gonna claim all my kids. Right. Now I saw him cute. It's nice. I appreciate him as a father acknowledging all of his children and not just, you know, trying to make it all pretty and stuff like that, like, oh, I don't have these other children or whatever. But what I will say is, like she said, it's a very sensitive situation. It is. Know? And I feel like if you wanted to talk about this, the 5th child, you may want to keep that for a later time. Why? Because this child was brought into this world under some really sketchy situation, like disrespectful. Yeah, like it was brought through cheating. And so, yeah, you want to acknowledge that you got 1 more on the way, but brother, maybe he was trying to slide it in there because he want to acknowledge the child without doing a separate post that's all about that child. But you have now changed the dynamics of this new child's life because you're not out in the house with her because you basically caused this divorce to basically get to the point of where it's at. So anyway, yeah, he should have just not posted that. That's all.
Yeah, I just think, and you know, in things that anything that you do, you should always aim to do things in decency and in order. And I think out of respect for his ex-wife, since he was the one that was cheating on multiple times, that was not the time or the place to put or talk about your child you had outside of your marriage. I believe.
Oh,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, I believe it was just tacky. So I do agree, but go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but the way from what I can see, the way his thought process is, he thought that was decency in order. He thought there was decency in order.
I think he was being messy.
Now,
I think he was being messy.
I think there is messiness because he did break up the message.
Yeah, he put the spaces
at the bottom.
He was being messy.
But I do feel like when you have that thought process and you're like, when somebody think they put father as the hierarchy, and if I'm a good daddy, it don't matter if I'm a horrible behind husband. So with that being said, he thought, oh, I'm acknowledging my kids, so I'm doing my thing. I'm doing the right thing. That's all I'm saying. Because he kind of has a warped thought process sometimes, from what I can see.
I just think is, you know, you can call it WAP. I'm just saying that he's just immature in several things, and if somebody says something that he don't like, he just gonna fire back. And I'm not saying that's immature. I'm just saying in how he's treated his wife or his ex-wife or his wife at the time by cheating on multiple times and just fighting tick for tack. But with that being said, I just feel in that moment, he just can't help himself. I think he just feels that he wants to try to rub it in as much as possible. And I just look at it from a psychological perspective. I believe that he's hurting.
Oh, definitely.
And I believe, even though it may appear that he's being petty, but I think his pettiness is coming from his hurtness.
Yeah.
And I believe it's coming from a place of avoiding this. You know, when someone know that they messed up a good thing, and they know there's no way of getting that back and life has moved on, sometimes it's hard for people to cope with that.
Yeah, so he holding on to, he got one more to go. All right, moving on.
So the next segment. Now this is a good one.
What?
Remember the broker, Chris?
Oh, the friend.
This is
the friend.
The friend, but he's actual broker, right? And let's just put in the frame. So before Melody and Martell got a divorce, they had ownership of 47 acres of land, and they was looking to sell it with this developer. Now, mind you, when they was going through the divorce, they couldn't sell the 47 acres at that time. So now man, I tell you what, man, his cheating has cost him a lot of money. With that being said, now the broker, who is their friend outside too as well, but they're also business partners. The developer had came to their friend, the broker, Chris, and the developer did not want Martell to be a part of it, but they wanted to see if Melanie would want to actually build a couple of single family homes on the 47 acres. Now, mind you, this tells you a lot about Melanie.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to say, Melanie could have easily said to Chris at that time when they met at the office, at her office, and say, you know what? Yeah, I'll take it because you know what? I got children. I got mouths to feed. So this is going to be something. I have my actual license and everything still. It's still active. Yeah. But what Melody said, well, I don't want to ruffle no feathers with Martell because I know it means a lot to Martell to want to build some houses on that land. Have you run this by Martell?
Yeah, I thought that was very, very nice of her. For lack of, I don't mean to say nice. I think I want to say that was just very mindful of her, very considerate of her, very mature of her, because it wasn't all about the dollar. She was still, I feel, thinking about his feelings. And that just
Yeah.
goes to show you how
Yeah.
much she still loves this
Yeah.
man, even in the midst of them now being divorced, even despite all of the hurt that he has caused in the marriage. She still was aware that, you know what, this is my husband's personality. And I think that that goes to show when somebody truly knows their spouse,
Yes.
that they acknowledge their personality and they respect it. And she respected enough to say, hey, dude, talk to him and then we can move forward. So I did like that.
Remember in season 2, the season right before the season, when they was talking to the therapist, and that was like the first time when I saw Martell get emotional because of his financial situation. Let me tell y'all something. It was very hard to watch.
Yeah.
Because he made a comment by saying, well, when I, when did have the children and we was together, everything was going good. I had work and everything like that, and I could just do pretty much anything with my children. But he said, at this time, it's kind of rough because work has stopped and I really can't do anything.
Right.
When he said that, it got quiet.
It did. Crickets.
And Melanie started crying. And Martell started to get emotional. And but she went over there and rubbed his back. He was like, it was like a trigger. Yeah. It was like a trigger for him.
He didn't like that.
He didn't like that because I feel it was being shown that he was just like, I'm at my lowest point.
Yeah.
I done hit rock bottom.
But I think it's also because when money, your wealth and your the money that you have defines who you are.
Yeah.
It brings you back down to reality. He has now faced a reality check. And I think he even said like he made his own bed and he just has to lay in it, unfortunately.
That's a great point. And then I think
he didn't want her to touch him because he possibly blames her for the struggle that he's currently dealing with, being that they had to, split up a lot. They had to resolve a lot of businesses and stuff like that.
And then a lot of attorney fees and things of that nature going through back and forth.
Exactly. So I think that that's a lot of, he really blames her, but he's really going through a lot. But it says a lot that she actually, got emotional seeing him hurt like that, because she still respects it that he's the father of her children. So,
and she's even said it. She said, you don't just be with someone for this long, over 10 years, and you just stop having feelings for him. She said, I want him to do well. Exactly. And that shows a lot of the maturity. And I think, this is why I believe Melanie has been moving forward with her other businesses and still, promoting her brand and things like that. And this is why I believe the developer had wanted the broker to reach out to her, because how she's handled her brand, how she's handled her business, even in the midst of this turmoil, how she's been able to move with grace. And I think one thing to talk about too as well, that I was very pleased when I saw that, even after the conversation, she had her little baby and was breastfeeding, but she was actually She had a marketing team called. She has her publicist. She has a marketing team.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. And she was doing business by taking care of the baby.
Yeah.
And that's a true sign. Let me tell y'all something, man.
Yeah.
Every single day, this dude's gonna be kicking himself in the ass. At least I hope so.
Yes.
Because, bruh, you don't mess around when you have a boss, queen,
yes,
at home that's not only taking care of the home, but it's taking care of the family.
Right.
And you got to be some type of mental crazy fool.
Yeah. Facts.
To move around on someone who takes care of home.
Yes.
And I think it just shows not only just the immaturity of Martell, it shows that what's the saying? How the saying go? What goes around comes around. And karma is gonna hit you where the sun don't shine.
Yeah.
And what is happening is he is reaping what he has sowed. And it's so sad to see, but at the end of the day, he made this bed and you got to lay in it. And hopefully he learns from that and become a better man. Not just a better person, but a better man and a better father, because now you have children from Melanie's side where you have a son that sees us and a daughters.
Yeah, yeah. And that hurts. Children are some of the most resilient. However, the trauma still sticks.
Yes.
And they went to therapy. I pray that they get the children into therapy because that's going to help them navigate some things too. But when you were talking about the state of Martell, it reminds me back, I think last season where Marsau said that he's going to have to hit rock bottom in order for him to truly be able to build back up. And sometimes you do have to hit rock bottom to know how you can build in a better way. Yeah. In a way of integrity. Yeah. And you know, I think that once he's able to see himself and change how he handles himself, his life, his children, his love life, all of these things, business, what have you, then people are going to treat him differently, because I feel like he lost out on opportunities because people watch when you don't have a level of remorse. People watch when you don't, seem like you want to redeem yourself, or you don't want to, change in some type of way. When you feel like, when you act like you're so cocky or so, arrogant, that you wear arrogance on your shoulder. There's nothing wrong with being confident in who you are. There's nothing wrong with being sure of who you are, but you have to know how to humble yourself in certain seasons in order for people to receive you.
Well said.
Even if you know you right.
Well said.
Sometimes you have to bring it down about 5 notches. Ooh. Just so that you can move forward in life, because people aren't always willing to take you as that rah-rah. Some people receive meekness and softness and grace, even from a masculine perspective. People still like when a man has that softness, for the lack of words, you know? Yeah. People like that.
Yeah. I tell y'all, boy, I love my wife, boy. I'm sitting here just amazed while she's talking. Ooh,
you better.
I'm looking at her feet and I'm just getting happy and excited.
I'm glad.
And I ain't talking about it excited for it.
I put some coconut oil on it, so I'm glad you do.
Yeah. Loving it. With that being said, let's move on to the next segment. Where we talk about now is LaTisha drives up and she acts surprised. Oh, y'all throwing me a surprise graduation party. Wow, okay. And she goes there and she's excited and all that good stuff. And then you have her family members
Boy, one of minions.
One of them, I think his name is Kiki.
No, the cousin named Kiki and the brother named T-Man.
T-Man.
It sounded so funny hearing Kimmie say it. She's like, let me tell you what T-Man and Kiki said.
And let me tell you something, man. It's something. But we're gonna respect Kiki. You know, we're not gonna say anything that's gonna, disrespect her in any way. So we won't get any emails or nothing like that.
And
like
we have a
somebody
really
else.
great friend named Kiki, so we not going at the name. But
yes, exactly. So with that being said, Kiki approaches Kimmie. About the little riffraff between her and LaTisha. Now, mind you, Kimmie is of the mindset that, you know what, let's just move on with life. Y'all talking about something that happened over a year ago.
Lord, I mean,
and y'all still talking about this. So Kimmie's like, can y'all just move on? Y'all must be ain't got nothing going on.
They don't.
If all you want to bring up is something old, something that she thought that was just resolved, and people just, how when you have people just don't want to let certain things go,
right? Like, but to me, this is the problem. And maybe they thought that this was okay because this was their TV time, so they probably had that conversation, and maybe the producers was like, "All right, y'all, you need to slide in here. This your time to get your little shine on, right?" Everybody get your shine on. All right. But anyway, I think it was a little jokey to me personally that everybody felt like they wanted to say what they needed to say, because I feel like the conversations that she had with them was in private. And I think that it still had nothing to do with them. Like, I think that you should always have people that have your back. But I just feel like people can have your back without saying things,
right?
And then being out of place, like speaking out of place, because it's like,
right,
what you're saying sounds more of an opinion,
right?
What you're saying sounds misguided, and then once again, these scenes are like edited to the max, so we don't know how long the conversations went, but it just felt like they needed to wait till she got there, and if they wanted to support her in some type of way, maybe, but maybe not. They should have just left it alone.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I agree with you. I think this is a situation where Kimmie dealt with it the best way she can, and she really kind of left Kiki, just speechless, because she was just like, I'm still confused on what I did wrong, what LaTisha is saying I did wrong. I don't know why she, and that's what she asked LaTisha when they finally came together at the graduation, moving on to the next segment.
Right.
And she was just telling LaTisha, like, you had your cousin Kiki, coming up to me and asking me these questions, and then saying, why I didn't stand up for you. And I'm like, what? Like what are you talking about?
Listen,
what else more should I do?
So that scene just kind of like it was just kind of irritating to me.
Yeah,
I thought
it was an irritating scene.
It made me look at what's her name? What's the other person's name?
Which one?
Kimmie. It made me just respect her even more, because she's just a great communicator. And she really faced it head on. She wasn't trying to deflect, I felt, in that scene. But I just felt like, and this is just a part of Tisha's personality, so I don't want to take away from it, and I don't want to insult her in any way, because I understand when you really love somebody and you have expectations of your friendship and your relationship, and so sometimes your emotions may get the best of you, because you feel like, I thought we were bigger and I thought we were better than this. And it does hurt to the core. So it does. I get her tears to a certain degree, but then it also pisses me off, because I feel like, well, how long you gonna be mad about this shit? Like how long are you? I gotta sneeze. Oh. How long are you gonna be emotional about somebody just doing what you're doing? Like, and how much expectations are you gonna put on people? Because I feel like you set yourself up for the okie doke when you do that.
Yeah.
You know, like I always tell you this all the time. Like, I just take people for what they are. You know, like I've just become that way, and I don't know if it's a case of numbness, or just dealing with people in the raw way, or just seeing how people have dealt with others, and so it's my protection like mechanism of just trying to like protect myself. But I feel like she just need to bring it down about 5 notches. Like, girl, listen, sis, it ain't that deep.
Right.
It ain't that deep.
But you know what? I would even add to that. Even let's say she has a valid point, somewhat, of what her observation on how she feels Kimmie should react on her behalf. You have to learn how to see things for what it is, and then just know how to move forward with that person, even still, because you can't force anybody to say or do something that you want them to do. And if you don't like how they are moving on your behalf, or them not saying nothing on your behalf, learn how to still deal with that person and say, "Oh, okay, I got you. I know how to deal with you moving forward." You just got to just know. Like, I just feel she's going down a path or going down a road. Like, this is where I would say the immaturity comes in, that, and hopefully she develops some experience in that, and just understand that everybody is not going to have the same thought process as you, and it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
And it doesn't make them a bad person, because I feel like we as humans, if a person doesn't roll the way we roll, then we X them out. And I feel like everybody isn't an X. I feel like you take people for face value. You see where you put them at. You take them as they are, right?
Yeah.
And then you put them where they belong.
Yeah.
You don't. That don't mean cancel you, cancel you, because they have a place in your life. You just have to know where that place is without setting yourself up for heartache, anger, because she's at home upset. Well, Kimmie does da. And Kimmie's like, I don't really even know why you were so hurt, girl. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was sitting there on a whole episode talking about me with Kiowa, which is Kimmie's stepson's mother.
Yeah.
And you ain't had my back. You actually was sitting there supporting her.
Yeah.
So I feel like, bring it down a little bit, Tisha. We get you. We understand you, sis. But everybody ain't gonna love you like that. Stick with your sorors. And they got your back, them your sisters, right?
Yeah.
Them the sisters that you was able to get.
Yeah.
Right? And you know they're your sisters.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they cool.
Yeah, I think
prove it otherwise.
And you know what? And it's good you mentioned Kiowa, because Kimmie did bring that up for a brief moment. And Kimmie was just like, hey, when I was going through my situation with Kiowa, and she was calling me everything out of the sun, I didn't say anything about you not speaking up on my behalf.
Right.
And better yet, she had heard some of the things that LaTisha was co-signing what Kiowa had said about when Maurice and Kimmie got together and things of that nature. But I think what Kimmie was just saying is that let's just don't let these little petty things be the wedge where she feels that LaTisha is taking this thing way too far.
Yeah,
she's making it bigger than what it actually is.
Yeah, she's ruining something that doesn't have to be ruined. Because then she's like, well, how do we move forward? Well, Kimmie been trying to move forward. It's that you got to catch up.
What do you mean? Like how do we move forward?
Like, how do we move forward is you realize that you are who you are. I am who I am. Stop trying to put so many expectations on me. I am your sister, but I am just not that type of sister. And we can agree to disagree, and we cool.
Yeah.
Just check your emotions, man.
Yeah.
Check your emotions. But anyway,
that's powerful, and I think that's kind of like just wrap up the whole segment of season 3, episode 1, which was very fantastic.
Yes.
We hope that you enjoyed
yes.
our actually conversation. This is what we're going to be doing, bringing a lot more content like this. This is our first episode 1.
Yes, talking about love and marriage, Huntsville.
Yes.
And for the record, we actually love every cast member of the show. We think that everybody brings some amazing value to the show. And shout out to the producer.
Yeah.
And even
is it
Carlos
King.
Mm-hmm. And also Owen bringing a little sassy, ratchet, but quality info to the TV, because I feel like it's just not. You're getting a real, and I think it is not like so much acting and so much crafted situations or interactions or whatever, but you're getting semi realness, I think. So I like it. It's good conversation for me and you. I feel like I've been able to do a great job in retaining and taking notes and just discussing, and it's just so fun. So guys, make sure that you subscribe
and hit that like button where it turns blue.
Yes.
And hit that bell so you can get notifications when we bring out more content, where we give a breakdown of the episode and different topics of conversation that's relating to our channel, Cuddle with Purpose. And it's all about having great relationships. And sometimes I think my wife said it perfectly. And I'm gonna give her an opportunity to say what she gets out of that whole episode and to send a message to our listeners and viewers. One thing I would say to piggyback what she said is that understand how to place each person that you come in contact with in your life appropriately.
Yes.
And I think that's such a powerful word. And I think, saying I'm even receiving that as she said, because I think sometimes we can get in such a predicament in our mind where we get so angry off when somebody does something where we just want to immediately cancel them. And I think it's just going to come with prayer. I think it comes with even, if you have to talk to a professional therapist or a professional psychologist, because maybe there's something deep underlying issues that you're dealing with that could have come from your childhood or could come from something of a pain that you haven't healed from. So what I would like to say to you in this moment of just thoughtfulness is to understand, don't immediately look at counsel someone or X someone out. But understand, just look at the relationship for what it is. Now, if it's something that's not feeding you or nurturing you in no type of way, then yes, that's appropriate, because you don't want to actually bring something that's going to not allow you to grow or personally develop with you. But what you want to do is place them in a certain categories. Place them in certain categories where you might have to put them in the back where they can affect you.
Exactly.
And that's perfectly fine. So just understand is to know how to just control your emotions and learn how to place the value of each person you come in contact in your life and prioritize them.
Prioritize them.
Go ahead, baby. You go ahead.
Oh no, I love what you said. You literally wrapped it up for me, because I feel like that's just what has helped me throughout life. Just in general. And I'm learning even more, because to be honest, I feel like I've given some people more so of a pass because of that. And some people, at the same breath of you saying putting people into place, I also agree with you saying cutting off certain people, because there are some people that do need to be canceled. And there are signs and all these different red flags that let you know like it's time to cut those people off.
Yeah.
But just know, like, think about the advantage, you know. Think
Mm.
about the value that is in that relationship that you have with that person. And if there's a true love, and when I'm saying a true love, I'm talking about friendship as well, because there are some friendships where you're in different seasons of your life and somebody's going this direction and somebody's going that direction. And sometimes if you just walk through that season, you may somehow come back to a certain degree, but guess what? You still know where to put them. And you know how to deal with them moving forward without there being any type of feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
You just know what we are today. And it's okay.
It's okay.
You know how they say love them from afar? I can love you from afar. And when I want to be up close, I can be up close. That's just pretty much how it is.
Yeah. So, man, love you, sweetheart.
I love you too.
And it's amazing. And definitely tune in, and we'll see you on the next video of Cuddle with Purpose.
Yes.
Take care.
Take care, guys.